Hi Earth Signs, Tara here, and this is going to be the elemental Earth for February 2018. So I'm reading for the signs of Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Website members, I only have 4 videos left to complete before the monthly individual tarots will all be posted. I will have to get started on the romance gallery here probably by the weekend. So again, I ask your patience for that. This is going to be a general reading, so the messages are not going to resonate with everyone. That does require a personal reading. If you'd like a personal reading, you can simply click on this eye right here as it pops up in the corner. That'll take you directly over to the website. Look for tarot services. Let's see. If you have not signed up for the free newsletter, I ask that you please do, particularly website members, if you haven't signed up for it yet, because I have a lot of you sending me questions about your membership. I have sent out instructions on how to cancel or pause that recurring membership. There are notices coming for those of you who signed up under the Facebook membership. So if you don't get it done before the expiration date, you're not able to get back into the system. So please make sure that you have signed up for the newsletter, because I give you a lot of information there. Now, that being said, we have just come through an eclipse. Eclipses are game changers. They are designed to eclipse situations and people out of your life so that you can move on to the next level. Now, we had on January 31st, we had a full moon lunar eclipse. And this was a really interesting eclipse because it was a super moon, all right, full moon. But also it was a blue moon eclipse. And it was also a blood moon. So it was a blue moon or blue blood moon. And the blood moon just means that, well, it's another name for the blue moon. And what a blue moon is, it's 2 full moons in 1 month. And the last time that we experienced a blue moon eclipse was March 31st, 1866. I just sent out an article about that. So this was when people who do astrology see stuff like this, they pay attention. Now, eclipses come in pairs. So on February 15th, the day after Valentine's Day, we will have a partial solar eclipse. I just sent out the transit watch with those degrees. Grab your 0 Aries chart and check the degrees there, because this is going to pull in the nodes as well, because these eclipses are falling across the Leo Aquarius axes. Okay. And if you want to, I would suggest you save up your money and get a transit tutorial. A lot of you are like, I don't understand how you doing the astrology. Look, if you want to read, if you want to know about who you are at a core level, then get a regular natal chart reading. The way I use the astrology is for everyday life. Why? Because you don't live in a vacuum. So the way I use the astrology is to show you people, places, and situations, and how those occur, what is transiting through, and how you might be able to either mitigate or sidestep any issues in everyday real world. It's not complicated. It may seem like it, but it's not. So with that being said, you're not going to understand it if you don't use the tools that I've given you, and if you don't get the tutorial so that I can walk you through what I'm doing. All right. Now, let's get the cards down and see what's happening. I got so much going on. I got so much going on. I don't know if I'm coming or going. Okay, here we go. 9 cards. Elemental Earth. 5 of Pentacles. Well, the Empress card, and that's good. That coming in like that. 5 of Wands. So I have 2 5s on the side of this Empress. 5s, what do 5s do? 5s speak to changes, but these are changes that are beyond your control. Okay. 2 of Coins. Four of Pentacles. Wow, Two of Cups. Isn't that something? Knight of Wands. Dun, 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 dun. Look like somebody coming back. Okay. Uh-oh. Six of Wands. Dun, 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 dun. And that dang Hangman. Well, well, well. Isn't that something? I have, do I have any repeater numbers? Except for the fives, I do not. And the two twos. So what I'm looking at is some kind of partnership. Let me show you what I mean by the way I do the astrology. Okay, look. That's the Empress. She represents the planet Venus. Venus is love, beauty, aesthetics, the finer things in life. She's fickle, she's gorgeous, maybe vain, in love with love. But Venus also rules your money, your possessions, the things that you own. And it also speaks to your values and your value system. So, for some of you, this is about perhaps a romantic relationship. For others of you, this could be some kind of financial thing. Okay? We're looking at these damn coins. All right? But love and money are two sides of the two sides of the same coin, right? Because they both equate to value. Sometimes there are people in places that are worth more than money and gold. And sometimes there are people and places and situations that you couldn't pay nobody enough for the bullshit that you got to go through, right? Okay. So I know this ain't going to be, this video ain't going to be approved by the advertisers. What's under the deck? The Page of Swords. Now, and that's the way I'm going to give it to y'all today. I'm going to give it to you straight. So, I only have these two major arcanas here. And I would say for some of you, the Empress represents an earth sign. Interestingly enough, she also represents the asteroid Ceres. Now, if you've read the transit watch that I just posted, I'm telling you to keep your eye on Ceres in your chart. What other planets and bodies are making aspects to Ceres, because she's very important. In fact, she has been doing a lot since she moved into back in May, when she started coming through Cancer. Okay, Ceres is that idea of division and separation. She used to be considered a dwarf planet. She wasn't like number one. Pluto was a planet, but then right in the same year, Pluto got demoted. Okay, and then Ceres came to be known as, she became number one. Why is that important? It's because Ceres was the mother-in-law to Pluto. Okay, if you get your ebooks that I have written, if you're asking questions, and if you get your tutorial, you're going to understand what I'm talking about. These things are very, very important. Also, what we are looking at is a battle of the sexes. Okay, one strong female and one strong male, Pluto and Ceres. And so playing out in the real world, as I'm talking to you about that zero Aries, you see a lot of women. Women are mobilizing. They're taking down big, powerful men. There is a change at sea coming. And that's what Pluto and Capricorn is all about as well. Okay. Now, long story short, right in the center, I have the Four of Pentacles. And I feel for some of you, this has been a time where you have been struggling with finances. Maybe things have been slow. Maybe you've had some financial losses. But yet here is the Empress. Here is Venus. Here is Ceres. Some of you have come to realize that whatever these oppositions, these delays, these hassles, maybe even having to fight people, you know, to get your thing across. I feel that you are in the position of knowing what the value is of having to go through this particular struggle. Okay. But it could also be that if your love of beautiful things, you've been living beyond your means, this is also causing you problems. There's always a flip side to everything. So I see here Five of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, and the Knight of Wands. Now, knights typically bring news and messages, yes. Okay. But I see that for some of you, there's been, like I said, some kind of, maybe this is about friends who've been helping you out while you have been kind of going through things. Maybe some of you have been having to work 2 jobs and you've been running around like a chicken with your head cut off, right? Okay. This is a really interesting reading. I know y'all hear tarot readers say that all the time, but this is really very interesting for me, because across the signs of Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, there are going to be a lot of changes, monetary changes, financial changes that are coming. Some of them may be due to your own financial habits, but most definitely when Uranus moves into Taurus, we got Pluto in Capricorn. Saturn has moved into Capricorn. And those are typically the big 3 that you want to look at when it comes to life changes. And we are in eclipse season. Okay? Now, for me, this Four of Pentacles is that idea of some of you having to maybe downsize. Some of you having to hold on to whatever gains that you have now and not investing them in anything in the future because money's a little tight. Things are a little sketchy. We're not exactly sure what's going on. Okay, and if that is the case, to say that there's a victory, this is going to be ending for you, or you have at least gotten through that particular point or that particular part of whatever you're going through. Okay. The other part of this is this idea of walking away from something and gaining your own. Sometimes this could be about your own independence or your own self-esteem. That's another thing that Venus rules. It rules your self-esteem. Okay? And that maybe for some of you, this has been a real struggle, or people are saying, I don't like that new change in you. What the hell you think you're doing? Who you think you are? Right? The Two of Pentacles says you're kind of all at sea. Maybe you're doing a lot of things at one time and you're trying to balance it out. For some of you, I get that this is also some kind of move that you're trying to make. And if not a literal move from one locale to the other, this is you trying to move spiritually from one level to another level. Okay, and it's kind of all at sea. And what you're being asked to do right now, maybe everything's at a standstill so that you yourself can regain that balance. This is not always a love relationship. This is about regaining the balance within yourself. Marrying the masculine and the feminine. Okay, and maybe for some of you, you're having to go back over a few things. But again, here's the Six of Wands that says that everything that you went through is going to pay off in the end for you. There is a victory. There is something you can be proud of and celebrate and stand in it. But there's something else I think that's coming, and we don't know what that is. Now, for the rest of you, this is about some kind of relationship or partnership coming in. Some kind of commitment, something new that has shown up. Where in the past, there was a bunch of, maybe arguments and differences of opinion. And so everybody went to their respective corners with this Four of Pentacles. And somebody absconded, they just left. Pew! They went. And that's how Knights of Wands do. Okay? Just as fast as they come in, is as fast as they'll leave. All right? So if that's the case, you're like, okay, well, fine, I'm going to walk away from that. I'm going to just go over here and sit down and do whatever it is that I do. And then I'm going to wait because there's something I got to figure out about this situation. Maybe it says something about me, okay? And the reason why I say that is no matter what kind of relationship you're in, whenever you go through trials and tribulations, it's really not about that other person. It's always about you. It's designed for you to take a look at yourself and gain a little bit of clarity, perhaps on what you want. What is it going to take to get that balance? What do I have to give? What does a person have to offer? Can we really just come together and everything be hunky-dory? Depends on who you are, what you got going on in your life. But I also feel, see, whatever this fight was caused some upset. And now there's a momentary pause. Now the thing about the hangman energy can be like a long time, or it can seem like a long time. It is that illusion of everything being in stasis. The Four of Pentacles. Because what the Four of Pentacles is, the Four of Pentacles can be that stability. Just, hey, being in that one spot and being okay with it while things work themselves out, or you get a better clarity on it. But at the same time, sometimes that Four of Pentacles can be that energy of things being stagnant and not moving. Hangman. If this is about a relationship, then what I feel is that in the past, this was all about somebody not being willing to share something with you. Okay, because this can be the money, the card of the tightwad, or the person who is not willing to share. And so if you're dealing with somebody, let's say you love this person and you've been trying to give them advice and they tell you, no thanks, I don't want it. Well, if they're not willing to take your advice, okay, if they're not willing to share their thoughts, their emotions with you, they sure as hell ain't gonna share their money with you, and vice versa. If they're not sharing their money with you, they're not willing to share anything else with you, right? A value. And so maybe you had no choice but to say, okay, whatever, that's the way it is. But this Five of Wands, this five says that something is changing in this particular situation due to some kind of outside events. Okay, that's always what the fives represent. All right, and this is in our past. So for some of you, this has already happened. I mean, this could even go back to last year's eclipse. Why do I say that? Because I have this earth and this water. Last year's eclipses came across the Pisces Virgo axis. Okay, and remember, I'm telling you, eclipses are designed to eclipse things and situations out of your life. Sometimes situations will return and you get another chance at it. Now, I'm not telling you that's what I'm seeing. But 9 times out of 10, if something is eclipsed out, consider it a done deal. But occasionally the universe will give you a second bite at the apple, but only after there have been some changes on fundamental levels. Okay? Now, let me give you the meaning of the two fives. One meaning of two fives is constant bickering, backstabbing, and ill will from other people affect the relationship. Okay? And there is a lot of fire here. Okay? There's earth, lots of fire, and some water. Okay? Now, the other meaning of the... Oh, sorry. Let me give you the meaning of the two twos. Hold on. Oh, crapola. Hold on. I'm trying. Y'all don't even know. Two twos. Harmonious changes and communication and the need to make a choice. Well, there we are. We're just going to hold it. We're just going to hold it down no matter what is happening, so we can gain some kind of perspective. Now, if this is the case, then I would think on the one hand that this is a good energy to be in. A lot of people, I know one time I had the Hangman, I think in 2015, I had the Hangman all year. I hated that damn card, but he serves a purpose. Okay, he's giving you the opportunity to get, to see this from a different perspective. What is it that I'm searching for? What does this really mean? How is this helping me to be on my highest path and purpose? Let me figure out what I got to do. And then once I do that, I can get myself down off of this. For some of you, this could be an aspect that maybe you had to heal or something. I see this. The reason why I say that, it could be some kind of injury. See, he's on crutches and he's hanging with his leg, back, hip upside down. So for some of you, this has been the idea that maybe physically you haven't been able to do what you want to do the way you want to do it due to some kind of injury. And there's a healing aspect. Okay. And while you've been kind of stuck in that one place trying to regain your physical balance, your physical well-being back, you know, it's giving you an opportunity to go back over some things. All right. Now, let me give you the other meaning of these two fives. Shall we? One was constant bickering. 2 5s tell of new experiences ahead. Now let me check to see if it tells me anything next to the, it does not next to the Empress, this 5 of Wands. Okay, let me take a look at this 5 of Pentacles here for you. Uh-oh. Nothing. Now, I'm going to take a look at the 2 of Pentacles and the 4 of Pentacles. Why? The 2 of Pentacles is touching the Empress. It's also knighting with the Hanged Man. And this 4 is right in the center, so it touches both the Empress and the Hanged Man. So let's take a look at the 2 of Pentacles and see what it tells us. Something came in, or something has come back out of the blue for you guys, a recurrence. And a lot of times that is what will happen when the nodes change. It may be different people, different circumstances, right? But in a way, the theme is kind of the same. And it's up to you to figure out what that theme is. Here it is. 2 of Pentacles next to the Hangman. Ask you to have patience as things are happening behind the scenes and the timing is not quite right. A situation is materializing to your benefit, so wait until the time is right rather than attempting to push the issue. Do not be impatient. Remember, that's what I was telling you. Fives before the 2 of Pentacles implies that your energies are being scattered, leading to undue stress and confusion. Slow down, relax, and think carefully about each step you take at this time. Allow things to flow as they will. Have faith. And maybe that's why those broken legs or those jacked up legs are showing up, because it's asking you to take one step at a time. Okay, the cards are funny like that sometimes. All right. 4 of Pentacles. Nothing. 2 of Cups. And then I'm going to read you what 2 2s mean. Okay, I'm going to give you those 2 interpretations. 2 of Cups. I ain't trying to call nobody. I've got to organize this better. Okay. Nothing about the 2 of Cups. But 2 2s, according to this interpretation, tells of a commitment or an engagement. Something's being worked out behind the scenes, people. Now I'm going to take a look at this 6 of Wands, touching upon this Hanged Man here. Something's being worked out. And maybe some of you have been highly impatient in one way, shape, or form, when I think what you really need to do is just focus on your own self and not worry about what's happening. Nothing about the 6 of Wands. So, what I want to look at, see, the Page of Swords is, the Page is a student of communication. So maybe for some of you, notice there's no communication in here. There's no swords. So sometimes the Page will show up when a message is going to come in, when it's due to show up. This is going to give clarity to whatever has been hidden, or something is going to be revealed and come to light. Now, sometimes under eclipses, something does come to light that has been hidden from you. Sometimes if you've been keeping a secret, that secret itself is revealed. So if you're doing anything you don't want nobody to know about, and you ain't ashamed that your mama gonna find out about, I ask you to be cautious. Make sure that you're dealing above board and honestly with everybody else. Don't get caught out by the eclipse. And sometimes things may remain hidden. Eclipses are funny like that. They're game changers, but they're funny. So I'm going to take a look at the Five of Coins and the Five of Wands surrounding this Empress here. These are the cards I want to look at. Because in down the present row, it just says that if you've been, you know, sitting in your own energy and biding your time, that's the right thing. But this 5 here tells me something's about to change. There's some kind of partnership, engagement, or commitment. And look, if this is not about romance, what we're talking about is we're talking about a business opportunity, perhaps. Why? Because that's also a partnership. Contracts, that's what Venus rules. It also rules not only Taurus, but it also rules Libra. Libra is the house of partnerships and contracts, not just marriages. And last year we had Jupiter in Libra. Website members, go back and type in Jupiter in Libra. There's a big article on it. There's one about Ceres and Cancer. Anything you want to know, it's on the website. Interesting. The pensiero, meditation. Letterato, the discovery. And the leggerezza. Now, this card is normally talks about the sensitivity of a person, the tact, the lightness of being. This card also speaks about sex. And she is all about that. She revels in her feminine energy. But what we're looking at is somebody who obviously didn't want to accept that or said they weren't ready. Maybe they didn't say shit and you just left. Okay? Something was unstable about this situation, because that's what 5s are. It's instability. Maybe it was financial instability and the reason why the person had to walk away. Let's look at this 5 of Wands. Now, if you was acting all ugly and being all arrogant and vain and in love with love, then yes, that's going to create fights and arguments with people, right? Somebody telling you you ain't all of that. Gran consolazione. The casa and the desperate jealousy. Oh, and the plot thickens. So what we're looking at, outside influence is destabilizing everything. Somehow or another, this individual or the situation that you guys were involved in was something very, very positive. In fact, I could say that you may have been the female of this person's dream. Now look, I read for same-sex couples and I read for heterosexual couples. So whomever's going to take the role in as the female in a same-sex relationship, okay? Because if you notice, these are all men cards coming out in the La Vida Civiles. In fact, I think that you were the perfect person in which to, I don't know, live with, move in with, make a house with, become the mother of, all right? But here is the desperate jealousy. What this tells me is that this was some kind of situation. This is not about jealousy per se. This card is about an excessive attachment to a situation. So it kind of reads like maybe it was somebody dealing with issues from a past relationship, maybe another baby mama, I don't know. You know, and even though everything was really, really good between you guys, maybe on that surface level, underneath there was a lot of other stuff happening. 2 of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles. Now, please keep in mind, this story ain't for everybody. Everybody's got a different situation, right? The morte. The morte is a complete and utter separation. A transformative time. Two of Pentacles. Love. And the single man. And there's the priest. That's the priest. On these two twos, marriage, engagement, and or commitment. So something is changing, earth signs, from whomever this story kind of resonates with. Something is changing, and it's changing in a big way. I'm going to pull cards on this Hanged Man. And sometimes the Empress energy is about, I mean, she's an Empress. She's more than a queen, right? And she's really not going to let a whole bunch ruffle her feathers. Why? She's the Empress. We got two horses going in two different directions. See? I just want to see what the stanza, communication, denari. Riunione. So, two things. I think there's some kind of financial issue that's being worked out. There has been no communication. It has been a while. Now, because this corona here of the Hanged Man is lit up, this lets me know that there's been some kind of communication on a different level. What I mean by that is some kind of psychic communication. That maybe this has come through dreams, some kind of way. There's a different level of communication here, okay? But we plainly see the denari. This is about money and safety and valuables. What do you do when you love something? You lock it up, okay? So this tells me that this has been put away. It's been kept for safekeeping, right? But it also can speak to the idea of strength, because there's a meeting coming. There's some kind of reunion coming. And maybe what this card is saying to us is that the news is on its way. There ain't no damn timing in the tarot. And again, this story is not going to play out for everybody. Some of you may hear back from somebody. Some of you may not. You know? Everybody's story is different. And free will abounds. All right. Formulate one question in your mind. Angel answer card. You know, and I don't think this is somebody new. It very well could be. It reads really like it's somebody that you already know, but it's going to be a reoccurrence after some time. And what does Neptune do? Neptune rules the seas, right? And sometimes you swim out too far from the shore, you lose sight of it. You know, you get caught in riptides. Fog comes in, storms come in. You can't see or hear the buoy. You don't see the lighthouse. So, you know, you can just kind of float along, or you can figure out what it is that you need to do to anchor yourself. The more you try to get to the truth, the hazier things become. And let me see. Pisces is in Virgo. And will be in Virgo until 2027. And Virgo is the house of work, duty, service, and health. Okay. Your health is your wealth. Your work, service, and duty to others, but also your work, service, and duty to yourselves. The Hangman can bring in that aspect of sacrificing one for the other, but also trying to view it from the standpoint of how can I better this so that I can get more of that. Okay, so I can do more for other people. But it's going to play out differently for everybody. It just says don't stop. Whatever it is that you've been doing, don't stop. Now, if you've been pushing yourself balls to the walls, I do suggest that you take a break. Everybody needs that. You know, a couple of days, whatever it takes for you to decompress, but don't lose sight of where you're going. This is not the time to give up. Continue to move in the direction of your hopes, dreams, or plans. You are on the right path, and you should see progress as long as you stay the course. And I think that's what that Six of Wands is telling me. It's very important that you stand your ground and believe in yourself. Don't let others intimidate you into quitting. Just because they don't have your vision doesn't mean you shouldn't follow your heart. I don't know what that means for you guys, but I hope that helped. And so until next time, namaste.